Welcome to Holon in Israel, where it's game day 10 of the Basketball Champions League regular season, and two teams just trying to keep their campaigns alive here as UNET Holon host Juventus Utena. A very good evening from me, Tim Long, and a warm welcome to Israel, where these two clubs are fighting for what would surely be a miracle playoffs appearance. Both sit just 2 and 7 in Group A with 5 games to play in the regular season. They're both 3 wins behind 4th place Murcia for a chance to make it through to the next stage of the competition. These fans showing up here tonight more in hope than expectancy of a place in the next round of the Basketball Champions League. They will get right behind their team for this one and right through to the end of the regular season. 32 teams split across 4 groups of 8. I'll focus here on Group A, where Karşıyaka and Oldenburg are undergoing a really tight finish. And tomorrow, NSC host Monaco and Sassari welcome Murcia. That game at the top of your picture now. A final score, Oldenburg by 1 point over Karşıyaka. Monaco, the runaway leaders in Group A, 9 wins from 9. But it's the top 4 who make the playoffs. Oldenburg and Karşıyaka in very promising positions, as are Murcia just ahead of Sassari for 4th. Holon and Juventus both in need of a big run and help from elsewhere as well to make the playoffs. Neither can afford to lose here tonight, that is for sure. The winner of this one this evening would get within 2 wins of Murcia before the Spaniards travel to Sassari tomorrow. So it's all about fighting for survival in the competition over the next 40 minutes of basketball for these two clubs. Here's a look at the Juventus roster, and you look to Leron Dendi, a team high 14.5 points as well as 5.5 rebounds per game. Karolis Gushikas, the number 10, also big inside, 8.9 points, a team high 5.6 rebounds per game. And Anthony Ireland, the number 3, their biggest creative force, 4.6 assists per game, as well as 13.5 points. He's a big scorer as well. And they'll need all of their big players to step up on the road here. Juventus, they face this Holon team. Glenn Rice Jr., the number 41, one of the leading scorers in the competition. Team highs of 18.8 points and 5.7 rebounds per game. To Sean Thomas, the number 35, is big inside as well. 14 points, 5.4 rebounds, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks per game. And Joe Alexander, a former NBA player, 13.4 points, 4.3 rebounds and 1.9 blocks. Another American who's big in the paint, both offensively and defensively. Tamir Blatt for Holon is their leading creator, averaging 5.7 assists per game, the 20-year-old Israeli. Juventus being introduced first, a 2 and 7. They lost their first 2 games before beating Holon 71-69 at home on game day 3. They also beat Sassari by 5 on home court on game day 5, but they've since lost 4 in a row, although all of them by 10 points or fewer. They lost by 6 at home to Karşıyaka last time out, having only lost by 7 to the runaway group leaders Monaco before that, but they're yet to win on the road all season, going 0 and 4 so far away from Lithuania. We're ready now for the introduction of the home team, Hapoel UNET Holon. Also 2 and 7 in Group A. They've been ultra competitive as well throughout this regular season campaign, despite only winning 2 of their 9 games. 4 of their 7 defeats have come by 7 points or fewer. Monaco beat them by 30 last time out in France, though, having also beaten them by 29 here back on game day 2. Dinamo Sassari in Italy, the only other team they've lost to by a big margin. Both of their wins so far have come here on home court, by 6 over NSC back on game day 5 and by 4 over Oldenburg on game day 7. In that meeting between these two back in Lithuania on game day 3, Holon came from 12 down to lead on the road And then the Lithuanians hit a go-ahead three-pointer with just 32 seconds remaining. Laurent Dendy with a dagger. Holon shot a better percentage from the field overall, but they hit just 3 of 22 from downtown and sent Juventus to the line for 29 foul shots, losing the game by just 2 points. A few areas they will want to improve in this one here this evening: the outside shooting and the management of their fouls. Juventus had a close defeat to Karsiaka last week. Dominated on the glass, pulled down 24 offensive rebounds to Karsiaka's 9. It's outlead to 15 extra shots in the game, but they still hit 2 fewer field goals than their opponents, who shot 61% inside and 40% from downtown, as we see our referees for this evening. Juventus, on the other hand, in that game were okay inside, but took 30 attempts from downtown and hit just 5 of them. So the outside shooting, an area for them to improve as well. And these are, in fact, the 2 worst three-point shooting teams in the whole of the Basketball Champions League regular season. About to go toe-to-toe, as strong as they can be in other areas, that is not one of their strengths. There isn't much to separate them in terms of the stats. Juventus averaging a couple of extra points per game. Holon slightly more accurate from the field. The hosts shoot a league 4th best, 55.6% inside, so there is a big job for Utena's interior defence tonight. And both teams rank in the top 6 for blocks, with Holon up in 3rd at 3.7 per game. Here's a look at the Juventus starting 5. We've talked about a number of those players already. Laurent Dendy, the standout star. Anthony Island, big as well. Shikshnius, Lithuanian experienced player, is in there, as to Ukrainian power forward Maxim Kornienko for head coach Žydrūnas Urbonas's team. And what a job he's done in turning them around after a really poor start to the season. They lost their first 7 in a row domestically before changing head coaches. And there has been an upturn since then. Here's the starting 5 for UNET Holon. And you see Corey Walden, another American, who's averaging in double figures, as are the rest of those in the starting 5. Tamir Blatt, the young point guard, the main facilitator for coach Dan Shamir's team. The home fans pelting out the anthem, and they will be full of voice and character and optimism despite the difficult position their team find themselves in here this evening at game day 10 of the Basketball Champions League regular season. Perhaps the 2 key areas in terms of the stats in this one are rebounding and turnovers. Holon ranked dead last on the boards, whereas Juventus lead the competition in terms of offensive rebounds, although the Lithuanians also lead the league in turnovers, averaging 15.2 per game. So it might all come down to which team can correct their biggest problem the best over the next 40 minutes of play. Holon have had a big journey to get back to the top level of Israeli basketball. 7 years in the 2nd and 3rd divisions, returned remarkably in 2007 when they won the national title in their first season back in the top flight, defeating the giants Maccabi Fox Tel Aviv by a single point in the final. And they're yet to reach those heights since. This is just their 2nd European campaign since the 90s, having played in the Euro Challenge a few seasons ago. And they're desperate, those fans, to continue into the latter stages of a European competition for the first time in a long time. As for Juventus, a relatively new Lithuanian club, only founded just before the turn of the century. They took a decade to climb to the top flight. They reached the semi-finals of the Lithuanian League in their first season back in the big time. And they've been to the semi-finals in 4 of their 8 campaigns in the top division, winning bronze for the first time in 2015. They're yet to go all the way, and for them it's just a 3rd ever European campaign. They lost to AEK Athens in the playoff qualifiers of the Basketball Champions League last season, having also played in the Europe Cup the previous season. Here we go then, it's a former Israeli champion against a 4-time semi-finalist in the Lithuanian top flight. 2 teams fighting for survival in this competition. It's UNET Holon against Juventus Utena, live on game day 10 of the Basketball Champions League regular season. We've got a false start in this one. And there was an infringement on the opening tip, so Juventus Utena start with the ball. And they inbound it from this near side with Shikshnios. Across to Anthony Ireland. Kornienko into the corner of the paint, back out, Shikshnios wide open for 3, got it, what a start for Juventus. Holon's first possession of the ball game. Glenn Rice Jr., their leading scorer. Oh, he finds a lovely pass to get the ball past the double team that greeted him on his path through the paint. Ireland averaging 13.5 points per game for Juventus. Clings onto it here, passes it off to Shikshnios. Across to the far side it goes, outside shot again, way off the mark, picked up by Ireland, on the strike, off the mark again. Rebound to Sean Thomas, and here come Holon. Walden across to the far side, long range 3, wouldn't go down for Glenn Rice Jr. Here goes Anthony Ireland through the gears, across to the far side, fired back in. There's a little pump fake, back out again from Kornienko. Kornienko turns to face the basket, mid-ranger off the mark, and brought down by Corey Walden. Now this game has started at a furious and frantic pace. High entry pass, and he gets in behind the backdoor cut. Holon have their first lead. Joe Alexander catching the defense sleeping. So Holon lead 4-3. Alvidas Shikshnios again. Head fakes, foot moves, lovely footwork in the paint from Alvidas Shikshnios. 5 points for him already after draining that 3 in the opening seconds. Tamir Blatt, the 20-year-old point guard, leading the team in assists. Nice bounce pass, back out, wide open 3 will go for Corey Walden. So the 2 worst 3-point shooting teams in the competition have each hit from downtown in the opening couple of minutes. Good defense that time from Walden, all over Anthony Ireland, but it's still Juventus ball. Thomas back out to the perimeter, Walden with the 3. Israeli fans making plenty of noise in the opening exchanges of this one. Off the inbound pass, it was aimed at Ireland. Defense read it far too easily. Here comes Walden, back out, another 3. Wouldn't go this time for Blatt. Offensive rebound, Alexander, left-hand layup wouldn't fall. Grabs his own rebound again, 3rd chance opportunity. Grabs it once more, 3rd time lucky for him. Joe Alexander eventually. If at first you don't succeed, keep on going. 6 points in the paint already for Holon, of their 9 total. Shikshnios, another outside shot, same spot, same outcome, despite being hotly contested. 2 of 2 from downtown, 8 points in the game already for Shikshnios. Black backs off, gives it to Glenn Rice Jr. He's directing traffic to the edge of the paint. Thomas back out, kick to the corner. Walden trying to get down the baseline. Lovely ball movement here from Holon. Oh my word, Israeli overdrive from Hapoel UNET Holon. Another outside shot. Both teams have hit 2 from three-point range already. Laurent Dendy off to Butelevicius. Across to the far side, it's another 3 and it goes at the end of the shot clock. Anthony Ireland, it's a 3-point shootout early on. Juventus back within 1. What an offensive start to this game. Joe Alexander. Tamir Black now. Fired back to Alexander just off the strike. Too long with the shot. Ireland the rebound. Trying to take it from him was Corey Walden. Bulldozed down to the hardwoods. Dendy for 3. He misses. And the rebound athletically grabbed by Glenn Rice Jr. Quick release down the floor. The runway opens up for Sean Thomas to take off. What a big blow delivered by Sean. Holon by 3. And then a foul as Ireland looked to make his way into the paint. And that finally gives us a chance to catch our breath, because this has been a full throttle start. And that was a full throttle finish. Another 3 will drop, this time Simas Butelevicius. Juventus 4 of 5 from downtown. Blatt. Across to the far side, long 2, Alexander wouldn't go. Back into the hands of Holon though, wide open 3 for Walden if he chooses to take it. He doesn't, crosses over towards the baseline instead. Ball movement around the perimeter again. Tamir Blatt steps in, kicks it back out. It's beautiful. Ball movement once more. This time the shot off the mark. Well, this has been a free-flowing, full-firing 5.5 minutes so far. It's a 5.5 minutes that's absolutely flown by. And these two neck and neck, putting on a real show on offense. It's the first time there's been any real pause in the action here. And we get a couple of changes. Out goes Laurent Dendy. Ireland to Szychnius, 8 points already for him. Into the paint, twisting and turning, but not able to find a route to the rim was Mindaugas Kupchas, the huge Lithuanian centre. You can see him towering over everybody else in the paint. He stands at 2 meters 15, 7'1". And there he is, back in the paint again, although around him was Kornienko to put it in, and then a foul as Glenn Rice Jr. looked to attack. So Juventus up by 2, 16-14. Black will inbound for Holon. Corey Walden, 25-year-old American, averaging 11.5 points per game this season. He's hit an outside shot already. He prods and probes and then steps back and nails the perimeter shot. 2 of 2 from downtown is Walden. And off the mark, well short by Ireland, who is disrupted in the act of shooting. Here goes Walden across to the far side. There's the trail. And the adjustment mid-air to put it in by Glenn Rice Jr. off the backboard. Kornienko. Ireland puts the ball on the floor, takes the long 2. He had feet on the line. Rebound grabbed by Thomas. Quarterback pass down the floor. Good adjustment mid-air again from Rice. Staying poised in the paint and able to get it to go off the glass again. And now we've got our first timeout. UNET Holon have scored the last 6 points without reply. And Juventus trail by 5. Well, what a high-octane start it's been. Corey Walden 2 of 2 from downtown. He leads the way for Holon with 6 points, although they have spread the scoring around. All of them getting in on the act. 4 points apiece for Alexander, Thomas and Rice Jr. Glenn Rice Jr. with a couple of lovely finishes as part of this Holon surge to get them up by 5 with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the quarter. Dovis Bichkauskis in the game for the first time for Juventus with the inbound pass. They trail by 5 points, trying to close the gap here. Szychnius, 8 of their 16 so far. Kornienka onto Bichkauskis, who steps back towards halfway. He'll go around the big frame of the big centre. 3-man in the corner. They don't take that extra pass, but it's put in by an apologetic Butalafi-Chus. He just holds up his hand to his teammate and says, sorry, I'm taking that one myself. Here comes Bichkauskis. A 3 to close out, almost non-existent. And then the offensive rebound from Szychnius and a foul on Corey Walden. There's the step inside and the long 2 from Simas Butalavichus. That goes black for the first time. Juventus a chance to close the gap to 1 or maybe even get level. It's a lovely move again from the 7-footer, Kupchas. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds, a block and a steal against Holon on game day 3. Terrell Holloway in the game for the first time for Holon. On it goes to Joe Alexander. Back out to Glenn Rice Jr. Shot clock to 5 here. Into the paint and put in off the glass by Tashawn Thomas. Glenn Rice Jr. playing the role of facilitator and scorer. Szychnius, it's that spot again, it's that outcome again. 3 of 3 from downtown from the same spot for Szychnius. Holloway, 23-23, a minute and a half to play in the first. Alexander from the far side, left-hand dribble, drive, threads the eye of the needle with the pass, although Tashawn Thomas couldn't finish. Both teams shooting the ball ever so well, 53% from the field so far. And both teams with multiple baskets from downtown. There's an offensive foul against Kornienka as the pass came into him. 11 points now for Szychnius, the Juventus captain. 3 of 3 from downtown, 4 of 4 from the field altogether. To the bench goes Kornienka. And we're approaching the final minute of the first quarter, neck and neck. Glenn Rice Jr. slowing it down. That's not happened too often in this quarter. Out to the near side. Klein Jr.'s 3 over the top of the basket. Bichkauskis. There's a look at the 3-point shooting. 3 for Holon so far, 5 for Juventus. Trying to force his way in was Bichkauskas, but he got stuck to like glue all the way. Third turnover for Juventus, and the home team Holon haven't had a single one just yet. Juventus do average more turnovers than any other team in the competition. I said that could be one of the keys to this game here. There's a foul before the shot as Glenn Rice Jr. looked to get all the way through. .9 seconds on the game clock, so plenty of differential after the end of this shot clock. Holon inbound. There's a double team trap on the far side. They find their way out of it though to Alexander. He pirouettes on the perimeter. Out to Klein Jr. for three again. He's missed two in a row. Offensive rebound grab though, touched back by Holloway as he tried to refresh the shot clock once more. And this time a foul though. And Timothy Klein Jr. has struggled since coming in. They've been able to get him 2 3-point looks, and he's missed both of them in just a minute on court. Klein Jr., who's 0 of 5 at Monaco in the last game from the field, has actually missed all 9 of his 3-point attempts in the Basketball Champions League now. They obviously feel like they can get him going. The shot clock turned off at the end of the quarter. A chance for Juventus Utena to grab the lead. A slender one at that at the end of the first. Anthony Ireland, left hand corner of the paint, lovely bit of footwork, forces it up and gets fouled with 1.1 on the clock. The Holon defence not happy with the call. Was there contact there, maybe on the wrist from Holloway? Ireland at the strike to edge Juventus ahead. He had a joint team-high 15 points in the narrow home win over Holon on game day 3. He was 4 of 8 from the field and 6 of 6 from the line in that game. And he's 2 of 2 from the line so far here. Tipped away and out of bounds as the game clock expires at the end of the first quarter. Juventus Utena have the edge, high scoring, 10 minutes of basketball. They lead UNET Holon 25-23. Here's a look at the overall shooting numbers, and they've done the damage from downtown. Juventus 5 of 7, and 3 of those coming from Szychnius from the outside. Holon shooting the better numbers from 2-point range. And there's the first of Szychnius's hat-trick of threes in the quarter. Joe Alexander getting inside for Holon. They really have spread their scoring around. Alexander has 4. And how bullish was he on the boards here for this one? Third time lucky for him. 4th time lucky in the possession for Holon. Szychnius that time more contested. Still got it to go with pinpoint precision. Lovely ball movement. We've seen this on a couple of occasions from Holon. The 3 knocked down. And then it just opened up for Tashawn Thomas to take off down the runway for that big finish. The most spectacular moment of the game so far. Corey Walden, a joint team high 6 points, 2 of 2 from downtown. And Glenn Rice Jr. a couple of nice controlled finishes, adjusting his shot to beat the defense. Stepping inside to hit the long 2, but Alavicius. The largest lead for either team so far has been 5 points for Holon. Juventus Utena have already been able to overturn that deficit though and get their noses in front, ready for the start of the second quarter. Here we go then, start of the second. Holon 23, Juventus 25. The home team starting with the ball. Holloway. Here's Klein Jr. Back to Holloway. Holloway on the left hand, stops and creates some room on the perimeter. They move it around to the far side to Panini, the veteran who's in there to score straight away, having not played in the first quarter. 25-25 then. Flowers in the game for the first time. Bichkauskis, he shoots the three off the front rim this time, battling for the rebound. Klein Jr. balances on the baseline and finds a way out to Coleman. Coleman also in the game for the first time, clings onto it here across to Holloway. Holloway high entry pass to Alexander, trapped by the near triple team on the edge of the paint. Lovely no-look bounce pass and then moved on again. Klein Jr. scores. Free-flowing Holon basketball. Tremendous play from Alexander in the low post. Bichkauskis, the entry pass into the huge centre, and Kupchas just turns and puts it in. These two teams trading blows again here at the start of the second. Holloway across to the far side, back to Klein Jr., who's finally on the board now after missing both of his shots in the first quarter. Panini, who scored in this second quarter as well, onto Holloway. Shot clock to 5. Holloway, pirouette, edge of the paint, kicks it out to the far side. Three-pointer right on the money from Coleman. It's 4 from downtown for Holon now, 40% accuracy. Juventus shooting over 60% though. 5 of 8 from downtown. Holon lead by 3. Ireland splits the double team and then gets fouled by Coleman. Coleman, who hit that 3 a few moments ago. Lovely find on the perimeter. Timothy Klein Jr. not happy with the call here. He certainly gets a piece of Szychnius on the elbow, and he had good cause to be concerned about the shooter, because Szychnius 3 of 3 from downtown in the first quarter. There was a bit of panic from the defence in trying to close him out that time. Szychnius able to hit the second. He was fouled on the three-point shot, so there's one more to come. 11 points in 11.5 minutes so far. And in fact, after adding those last 2 foul shots, he's now up to 13 is Szychnius. Juventus have closed the gap to 1. Coleman. Back to Holloway. Holloway averaging 14.3 points per game. Another huge scorer for Holon. Had it knocked away, but he was fouled. He's only played 4 games for that average, though, this season. Well, they just never turn down the volume, do they, the Israeli fans? Here's Holloway. Holloway moving it on to Thomas. Thomas back out to the perimeter again. Coleman hits another three-pointer. Back-to-back threes for him. There's no signs of a let-up in the accuracy of the outside shooting here. Dendy back to Ireland. Had to stretch to reel it in. The crossovers now as he looks to go to work. Stopped by the double team momentarily and turned over as Thomas stretched every fibres of his fingertips to get there, and then there was a foul. And then unsportsmanlike as well. called on Anthony Holon. Let's take a look at this. He's hustled and harried by the double team. And then there's a little jab to Guy Panini. Well spotted by the officials. And that is free throws and possession from the unsportsmanlike foul as Anthony Holon goes to the bench. The man in red just saw red on that occasion. Holon by 5 ties their largest lead of the game, and in fact the largest lead for either team. 5 turnovers for Juventus. Holon have protected the ball ever so well. That continues to be one of the key areas. Holloway directing traffic from this near side. They could try and extend the lead here beyond 5. Holloway contested on the corner of the paint, misses, and the rebound pulled down by Bichkauskis. Flowers and back to Bichkauskis it goes again. Schicknius perched in this corner, maybe looking for another outside shot. Back it goes to Flowers. He takes the 3 and nails it. Juventus red hot from downtown. 6 of 9 from three-point range now. Nice little dish pass inside, and it will drop for Timothy Klein Jr. A chance at a three-point play to answer straight back. Lovely pass here from Holloway as he got inside and beat the double team, leaving Klein Jr. as the free player coming in behind. He's found his feet now as Klein Jr., after missing those 2 shots in the space of a minute, coming in the first quarter. He's now hit his last 2 and that free throw, and that's 5 points, all of them here in the second. But Alavicius, entry pass and a foul from behind as it went in towards Laurent Dendy. Foul on Thomas. 3 apiece, I think, now for both teams here in the second. We've only played just over 3.5 minutes of it. To scurry to recover that. Bichkauskis on the far side, but no harm done. He'll back off and look to go to work now. Left-hand dribble drive into the edge of the paint. Dendy puts it in emphatically, but there was already a foul before the shot on Coleman. Across to the far side it goes to Flowers. He shoots another 3, short this time, grabs his own rebound. He'll shoot a 3 again. 3 misses in quick succession for Jonte Flowers. Holloway composed to dish it over to the far side again. This time Coleman missed. It was an off-balance catch, disrupted his shooting rhythm. Here comes Dendy in behind, composed in the paint to put it in. Laurent Dendy. Juventus have closed the gap to 3. Approaching the midway point of the second quarter now. Here's Holloway. Bounce pass in towards the edge of the paint. Never quite had it under his control to Sean Thomas. He wanted the officials to bail them out there. Wide open 3 at the other end will rattle around and drop for Bichkauskis. And Juventus from 5 down, back level again. 37-37 as Holon called timeout. Twice the Israelis have had 5-point leads. Twice Juventus have reeled them back in. And Dan Shamir wants to talk it over with his team.
Simmons. For up Simmons. Prolong the fouls inside. Pass the ball on the him. Hold. There's something back, pass back him. Hold. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You.
Lovely play from Dendy as he received the pass and made sure he got the defence up in the air. And then down the floor, Butalavichus across to the far side, finding Bichkauskis for the open three. Juventus closing the gap in no time at all. Szychnius, 13 points in the game, all three of those 3-pointers coming in the first quarter. So 37-37 with still half of the second quarter to play. It's been a high-scoring contest and a consistent one throughout in terms of the offensive output. Panini looking to float one over the top of Dendy. Didn't quite get his angles right. A chance for Juventus to take the lead now. In it goes to Dendy, and he finishes as he hangs on the rim. Laurent Dendy inside, just putting a little bit of emphasis on that one. Rice Jr. Crossover onto the left hand, fizzes it in towards Sean Thomas. He arched his back, grabbed his own rebound, then missed the easier attempt. It looked like he'd get it to go, having done all the hard work. Szychnius. Bichkauskis just slows it down and clings on to it. Laurent Dendy goes across to the far side. Couldn't quite receive it. Good hands that time from Thomas. High pass towards Panini, who's threatening to cut him down the baseline behind Szychnius, who in the end did just about enough and took the foul for his team. That's the open dunk for Laurent. Nobody near him that time. The crowd didn't like that he hung on the rim for that extra second or so. Sean Thomas, bullish in his attack against Dendy, who did enough to disrupt him. Thomas feels that he should have got a foul. Butalavichus slowing it down, crosses over onto the left, finds Laurent Dendy, who couldn't grab the handle on the ball. Holloway, on it goes to Harush. Panini. Rice hangs it high, flipped up by Thomas. Along back level. Anthony Island, 3.5 to play in the first half, 39-39. Another turnover. Thomas, the pirouette. Over the head pass, oh my word, to Sean Thomas, taking off to finish. What a highlight reel play. 10 points for Thomas and a wonderful assist as well. Butalavichus into the lane, fouled on his path through the paint. How about this? First it was Thomas coming up with a steal. The big man pirouetting as well. The overhead pass from Shlomi Harush. And Thomas put the exclamation mark on that huge play. It's a dunk that's got Holon ahead. Only momentarily though, with Simas Butalavichus at the line. Really good all-round contribution this season from him. 7.6 points, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists and 1.5 steals per game. Shooting 37% from three-point range as well is Butalavichus, and a team that hasn't shot the ball very well from the outside through the course of the season, but they are doing here tonight. Panini across to Rice Jr., who gets it back here and prodded away as it went into Alexander. Thomas now the leading scorer for Holon with those 10 points, 13 for Szychnius for Juventus to lead them. Both teams are at the foul limit. with still 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second. So at the line is Joe Alexander. And any foul from either defence now for the remainder of this half will send the opposition offence to the foul line, whether it's a shooting foul or not. Alexander now has 6 points. Ireland. Flowers. And it goes towards Kupchas. Kupchas, the hook shot, left hand, wouldn't go. Holon on the charge again with Glenn Rice Jr. Arriving on the far side was Panini to put it in from downtown. 7 of 14 for 50% from the outside now, and there's another steal, but thrown right back into the hands of Kupchas. That time trying to get down the baseline was Butalavichus, fouled by Harush. Here's the three from Panini, another assist for Rice Jr., who's got 5 now. The leading scorer for Holon has turned into their leading facilitator. Butalavichus back at the line where he was a few moments ago. So 3 points the lead for Holon, 9 points for Butalavichus now. Alexander shoots the long 2. A little short, grabbed by Butalavichus under pressure. He's able to cling on to it. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Juventus trying to get back level or get within 1. They missed the close range shot, grabbed here by Black. Black trying to get free, turned over, and what a hard foul that was from Glenn Rice Jr. A huge mid-air collision against Mindaugas Kupchas. It takes a lot to stop him from close range when he's looking to attack the rim. And Glenn Rice Jr. well aware of the size of his opponent, trying to make absolutely sure, and he went in far too aggressively. Kupchas unable to hit from the line though. Unsportsmanlike foul, I think, called so. Foul shots and possession for Juventus, although Kupchas misses both of them. He was 4 of 4 from the line in the meeting with Holon on game day 3. Juventus still with the ball with Anthony Ireland. Across to the far side, Flowers, the pump fake, drives down the baseline, back out to Ireland. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, but he takes it early and contested and misses it. It's going to be Holon ball. Now from Maxim Kornienko, the Ukrainian who's back in the game. He picks up his 3rd personal. And of course both teams at the foul limit already, so Holon walk all the way down the other end of the floor. And Guy Panini will shoot the foul shots. 7 points for him now. And that lead for Holon back to 5, which for the 3rd time is their largest of the game. Anthony Ireland. A minute and change remaining in the first half. Juventus will look to close that gap once more. Kornienko moving it on to Szychnius. Will he shoot the 3 again? He does, off balance this time and flat. And the rebound grabbed by Harush. Harush maybe looking to go all the way, flips it up somehow as he gets around his opponent. Only had one thought in his mind there, did the captain, Shlomi Harush. The big man shoots the long 2, Kupchas, from near the perimeter. That, just for a second or two, was the largest lead of the game for Holon at 7 points. 9-second differential between shot and game clock here at the end of the first half. Glenn Rice Jr. gets through a gap, throws it against the underside of the rim though, tries to wrestle it back. And a foul called against Kornienka, so a good effort from Glenn Rice Jr. to try and hustle and win that ball back, and we are going to have a timeout. The foul may well have gone the other way. As the timeout is called, we'll have a break with just seconds remaining in the second quarter. Both teams continue to shoot the ball well, both around 50% from the field, and close to 50% each from downtown as well.
Max, you are biggest now.
Okay, no, just force the contested shot. Okay, the finishing with a stop. Hot.
All right, guys, one stop.
Big boy, my God, Tommy. Make it stop now.
Well, this one has been so tight throughout, but full of fast offensive play, and that time it was Shlomi Harush finding a way through. Quick switch back from his right to his left and back onto his right again, and he found a way to get it around the frame of his opponent to finish. Holon momentarily after that basket up by 7, but Juventus straight down the other end of the floor, draining along to via the hands of Kupchas, getting it back to 5. And Juventus have possession with the shot clock turned off at the end of the second quarter. 10 seconds to make it a one-possession game at the half. Bichkowski looking to dance all the way through, missed the shot, rebound grabbed by Rice, and that will do it for the first half. UNET Holon lead Juventus Utena by 5, 50 to 45 at the break. The Israelis hitting the half-century mark over the first 2 quarters. Juventus Utena not far behind them in a high-scoring contest. Look at the shooting numbers. Both teams around 50% inside and out. And remember, these are the 2 worst three-point shooting teams in the competition coming in. Not too much to choose in terms of the rebounding and the assists, but Holon 7 steals to 2, 2 blocks to 0, and they've only turned the ball over 2 times compared to Juventus's 8, and that's the reason why they lead by 5 points at half-time. Thomas leads the way in scoring for them, including perhaps the 2 biggest highlight reel plays of the game. 10 points for him, and 4 steals as well for Tashawn Thomas, one of them leading to that fast break highlight reel dunk. Look at the overall leading scorers. Shikshnius leads the way with 13, the majority of those coming in the first quarter though, and Butalari just picked up the scoring responsibility for Utena in the second. Panini did the same for Holon, and this one is still hanging in the balance. All to play for when we return for the second half in around 10 minutes time. At the break, UNET Holon 50, Juventus Utena 45. Welcome back to Holon, Israel, where we've got a really entertaining game on our hands. The home team, Hapoel UNET Holon, lead Juventus Utena of Lithuania by 5 points as we get ready to start the second half. But a really high-scoring game, 50-45, the score after the first 2 quarters. And both teams spreading those points around, getting the vast majority of their rosters on the boards. Sean Thomas leads the home team with 10 points. They've also got 8 from Panini, 6 apiece for Coleman and Walden, and 5 as well from Klein. Juventus Utena led by the 13 of the captain Schickschnius, most of those in the first quarter when he hit 3 of 3 from downtown. They've got 9 as well from Butalavicius, as well as 6 from Kupšaš and 5 from Ireland. Largest lead of the game, only for a few seconds, was 7 points. Aside from that, it's been within 5 all the way. Holon have held the biggest leads, although Utena have at times had themselves in front as well. And now they have to come from 5 down again, Juventus in the second half. Both teams shooting the ball extremely well. And most surprisingly from downtown, where the home team is 6 of 13 for 46%. And Juventus 7 of 14 for 50%. In terms of overall shooting numbers, 49% from the field the home team, 48% from the field the away team. The difference comes in the number of shots. Holon have shot 8 more field goal attempts, and that's how they've been able to get themselves ahead by 5 points. The reason for that, they've only turned the ball over 2 times. Juventus Utena, who have had the most turnovers in the whole of the Basketball Champions League so far, have turned it over 8 times, so that's a huge difference. And then on the boards, an extra offensive rebound for Holon as well, although the rebounding numbers are pretty much even. And you have to give credit to Holon for that, because Juventus came in as a huge team, rebounding the ball on the opponent's glass. They've only managed 4 offensive rebounds so far. Here we go then, we're ready for the start of the second half. Holon start with the ball, a chance to match that largest lead of the game at 7 points. Joe Alexander, across to the far side it goes to Glenn Rice Jr., leading the way in assists in the game so far. Alexander turning, shooting over the top of the defence and knocking it down. So Joe Alexander up to 8 points, and the lead back to 7, ties the largest of the game. Anthony Ireland, Schickschnius getting away from Dendy, who moves into the paint. Dendy comes back out to set a screen, goes back inside again, receives it on the far side this time, looks to shoot over the top of Rice Jr. and misses. It's not really got going. Laurent Dendy so far for Juventus. Outside shot at the other end, wouldn't go. Rice Jr. down to the floor, looks across at the official, nothing doing. Ireland back out and pocket picked, as Butalavicius wondered what had hit him from behind. Here's the 3 from Rice Jr. Did he get caught by Dendy? Looked like he had his foot trodden on. The referee was watching the shot. Glenn Rice Jr. feeling hard done by that time. Juventus have the ball and they will inbound with Butalavicius. Despite being close to turning it over again, Ireland shoots the 3 over the top of Walden, then closes the gap to 4. Joe Alexander, former NBA player, fired in to Thomas, back out to Rice Jr., back to Alexander again, spins towards the baseline, runs into the double team, passes back out to the perimeter, and a teardrop right on the money from Tamir Black. 5 points now for the 20-year-old. Ireland Just look at the points in the paint, 28-12 in favour of Holon. Juventus, as we've talked about already, have kept up with Holon largely down to their outside shooting. Here's the move from Blatt, perfect elevation on that shot. Ireland all the way through, stuck to by Walden, who's able to emerge with the ball. Then lost his balance, recovered not once but twice. Here's Blatt. Rice Jr. Oh, he puts it in with the foul. Glenn Rice Jr. a chance at a three-point play. Nothing but net despite the contact. He thought he should have had a foul on the three-point shot a few moments ago. He turns and stares down the officials again. That time he gets it to go and he gets the foul. That's the great defense from Corey Walden that led to that opportunity in transition. 7 points now for Rice Jr. And this is the largest lead of the game at 9 points. And another turnover as well. Glenn Rice Jr. able to come up with the steal. Across to the far side, Walden fakes the three. Alexander takes the long two and gets it to rattle around and drop. Red hot Holon looking to burn Juventus's playoff hopes to bits here. They're up by double figures for the first time. And coach Žydrūnas Urbonas calls timeout. (9-3) so far here in the third quarter. Hapoel UNET Holon have come out firing on all cylinders after the half-time break.
Only a zone, maybe they're out of it. Okay, go to the three times. With Glenn, you're coming. Okay, it's open all the time. Okay, look high, look high low, heavy straight. You don't have it, but it's a little high kick. Okay? Don't let up, don't let up. That's your emotion. That's all it is. Don't let up. Go,
Joe Alexander has joined to Sean Thomas in double figures for the home team. They both have 10 points. A few more in yellow closing in on that milestone as well. It's been a real team effort on offense. Juventus now trailing by 11 points. Szychnius on to Ireland. Ireland waiting for a bit of movement. It comes via Szychnius on the far side. Dendy looking to set a screen for him. Receives the ball up against Thomas. Takes on the mid-range two. Fade away. Can't get it to go, and Alexander grabs the loose ball. To Sean Thomas up against Laurent Dendy. Back out to Rice, across to Alexander. The crossover. Back out again to Walden. Stuck to all the way. Kornienka doing a great job on Alexander, and that leads to the easy basket in transition. Quarterback pass down the floor though, and Joe Alexander rises to the rim to finish. Juventus not getting back quick enough on defense. Ireland. Joe Alexander just wanted it more. And it was a lovely find, the full length of the floor to pick him out. Ireland across to the far side, little pump fake from Kornienka, who gets inside, bounce pass, but the shot clock expires on Laurent Dendy. Despite the positive play, the nice passing, they weren't aware of the shot clock, and that is their 11th turnover of the game. Holon have had just 3. And they average over 15, Juventus. It looks as though it might be a few more than that if they continue in this fashion here this evening. Blatt out to Rice Jr. Thought about the 3. Hesitated, took it on second time. Alexander rises high for the rebound and gets contact. Joe Alexander now leading along with 12 points as well as 8 rebounds. On course for a double-double. chance to add to his points tally from the foul line as well. He's 5 of 10 from the field, now 3 of 3 from the line. Seven rebounds, in fact, for Alexander. 5 of them, though, have been on the offensive glass. Ireland lead is 12 points, the largest of the game for either team. Kupchas against Alexander, passes out of the double team. They take on the 3 and get it to go. How badly they needed that one from Butalavichus. 12 points for him. He's 2 of 2 from downtown. Second player into double figures for Utena. They continue to shoot the ball well from the outside, but they have struggled from inside the perimeter. Rice Jr. fizzes it across. What a pass to Blatt, who answers back with a 3. Tamir Blatt right on the money. 2 of 3 from downtown. But the pass from the far side was to be admired. Ireland, he'll take on a 3. It was a 3-point shootout at the start of the game. It's becoming one again. Shikshnius, he hit 3 in the first quarter, and he's back in business from the outside here in the third. 16 points in the game for Shikshnius, leading scorer so far. Juventus back within single figures. 9 points the difference. I think Rice got caught in 2 minds there between pass and shoot. And they missed the open layup. Kornienka just taking his eye off the ball, but Butalavi just helping him out. So closed quickly from 12 down to 7. Juventus not giving up hope. Here's Tamir Blatt. Walden for 3, got it! It's raining 3s again in Holon. Walden 3 of 3 from downtown as a team. They're now 8 of 17. So 47% from 3-point range, UNET Holon. Juventus Utena 56%, 10 of 18. Corey Walden now up to 9 points with those 3 threes. Shikshnius, he's going to shoot again, this time off the mark. Walden the rebound. Tamir Blatt, 10 points the difference. Into Rice Jr., who hangs it high, and Joe Alexander rocks the rim. Back to the largest lead of the game at 12. And in emphatic fashion. That one won't go for the giant Kupchas. Black gets fouled by Butalavichus. Third Juventus foul of the quarter. How about this from Glenn Rice Jr. High to Joe Alexander, who's the leading scorer for Holon by some distance now with 15. And the leading scorer through the season. Glenn Rice Jr. has turned into their leading provider this evening. That was his 8th assist. That time the pump fake, the crossover to the baseline, the adjustment mid-air. No foul though as he falls to the floor. He's fouled on a couple of occasions. He hasn't got the rub of the green from the officials, but no complaints that time. 7 points off 3 of 9 shooting this evening. He's missed all 5 of his attempts from downtown, but as I say, 8 assists in the game for Glenn Rice Jr. Who only averages 2.3 through the season. Might be getting a little bit rattled and riled by the contact, but it's still in his possession. Shot clock to 5. Rice Jr. trying to edge down the baseline. Able to find a pass to the far side, and at the buzzer it drops for Alexander, who can't miss right now. 17 for Joe Alexander, as well as 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. And the lead is 14, the highest of the night. Bichkauskis across to this near side, but Lavicius can't respond. Here's Tamir Black, looking to force the issue. Panini. Guarded by Flowers, back out. Here's Alexander, checks it's a 3, but misses that time. And the red-hot streak comes to an end. .5 minutes remaining, 14-point deficit for Juventus. Their season is ebbing away. The loser of this one really stands no chance of a place in the playoffs. Open 3, knocked down though by Lavicius, and their flame still flickering. Final 2 minutes of the third. Holon have been able to keep up their wonderful offensive output from the first half. Juventus Utena haven't, not just yet anyway. Panini fakes the 3, steps inside, floats it up from mid-range and misses. A chance to make it a single-digit game once more for Utena. Bichkauskis will take on the open 3 behind the screen, misses, and the rebound grabbed by Walden. Glenn Rice Jr. getting inside, back from his left hand onto his right as he got mid-air contact, falling to the deck. Glenn Rice Jr. putting the moves on the Utena defence. A burst to the basket and quality to finish around the rim as well. A chance to move into double figures in scoring. And from there, he would be only 1 assist shy of a double-double. Ten points, 9 assists for Rice Jr. The lead is at 14 again. 25-16, the score so far here in the third. Holon have pulled away. Lavicius, high entry pass to the big man, and the offensive foul against Kupchas. Takes them to the foul limit. Little push into the back of his opponent. Doesn't need to make that foul. The size advantage he has over the Holon player and over any player on court this evening. It does take them to the foul limit, but you do not shoot the foul shots for an offensive foul, so Holon bring the ball over centre court with Holloway to the far side. Gets it back here to Holloway across to the near side. Panini shoots the contested 3 with a hand in his face. Kupchas grabs the rebound. Onto the corner it goes to Flowers. He tries to find Kupchas, and the passing lane disrupted, and Juventus now look out of ideas. Holloway. Still a long way to go in this game. 14-point deficit is certainly one that can be overturned. Holloway. They just look to be running on fumes now, the away team. Panini puts the ball on the floor, loses the handle on it, saved on the baseline. Only a second or 2 differential between shot and game clock, and there's a foul in transition by Blatt. Only Holon's second of the quarter. They could do with a glimmer of hope at the end of the third. Juventus Utena. Bichkauskis. Bounce pass inside, recovered underneath, but too far underneath, and then the shot clock expires on Arvidas Shichnius. And the big man just didn't have the athletic ability to arch his back away from the baseline as he was caught underneath the backboard. Only 0.8 remaining on the clock, so Holon will give it a heave. Holloway to get the ball in. 14 points the lead for the Israelis. lobbed up from centre court, nowhere near the basket, and that will do it for the third quarter. The home team have kept up their average of 25 points a quarter, and they've extended their lead over Juventus from 5 at the half to 14 at the end of the third, 75-61. Look at the shooting numbers, and Holon with their 2-point accuracy closer to 60% now. They're grinding Juventus down inside, despite Juventus still shooting 50% from downtown. Juventus kept up with them through the first 2 quarters in what has been an offensive clinic of a game, but the Lithuanians have started to deteriorate here in the second half. The score in the third quarter, 25-16, as Holon tagged an extra 9 points onto their 5-point half-time lead. Glenn Rice Jr. close to the double-double, 10 points, 9 assists, 3 players in double figures for Holon, 10 points for Thomas and 17 for Joe Alexander leading the way. As for Juventus, 17 points for Butalavicius, 16 for Szychnius, and 8 for Ireland, their top 3 scorers. Szychnius getting a 3, having hit 3 early in the game. But every time Juventus got a bit of joy on the offensive end, Holon responded. That time the 3 from Walden, who's 3 of 3 from downtown for 9 points. And what a pass that was to the high-flying Joe Alexander from Glenn Rice Jr. And the same connection leading to a basket that time as well. So many of Rice Jr.'s 9 assists have found Alexander, who's 7 of 13 from the field for his 17 points. Here we go then, start of the fourth quarter. Holon 75, Juventus 61. The home team start with the ball as well. Coleman across to Holloway. Holloway into Klein Jr. And that's a good start for Juventus as they force the early turnover. Now they need to rediscover their rhythm on the offensive end. Ron Dendy backing in and going to work, draws contact. Foul on Timothy Klein Jr. Ron Dendy, Juventus Utena's leading scorer through the season, averaging 14.5 points. He's only got 4 so far here this evening off 2 of 6 shooting. Flowers drops the ball. Coleman down on the deck to try and come up with the turnover. Or the steal to force the turnover. It's gone the other way though. Butalavicius into Szychnius, back out to Flowers. Flowers to Dendy into Szychnius. Nice pass that time. Nice ball movement under pressure. And they're looking to keep the pressure on Holon. 12 points the gap, 9 minutes to play. Holloway. Holloway the crossover from the left to the right. Gets all the way inside and finishes. Far too easily. Ron Dendy, still time to get going for him. On to Flowers. Flowers taking the ring road around the defense, but can't find a finish at the end of it. Coleman. Coleman to Alexander, oh my! UNET euphoria as Joe Alexander explodes to the basket to finish. Transition basketball at its very best. The pinpoint pass and the flying finish from Holon's top scorer.
Five defense switch. Here trap without the dribble. Go trap. Between rotation. 5 defense.
Fellas, now now the most important thing is not the little thing. There's now a turnover and we don't get back and we give up on play. Okay, let's be in the moment. Okay, we beat the lead. A lot of games to go. Let's be now in the moment. Okay, we're not anything. Enjoy,
Well, what a play to force the timeout. Holon firing on all cylinders. It looks on this evidence that there's no way for Juventus to catch them. There is still plenty of time, but it would have to be some turnaround in the form and the fortunes of these two clubs over the course of the next 8.5 minutes or so. Joe Alexander up to 19 points, as well as 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. Kornienka into Szychnius, and a foul from behind on Klein Jr., his second in quick succession. Those two, the only 2 fouls of the fourth quarter so far. This is 4th personal. He fouled out of the game on 5. Szychnius into Dendy. Dendy back out. Pump fake from Butalavichus, who steps inside, misses the 2-pointer. Comes up with a loose ball, though, and a fresh 14 here for Utena. Will they shoot the 3? No. Ball on the floor. Passed inside to Butalavichus, but no room to operate for him as it's knocked away. Crossover onto the right from Holloway. And 2 sets of players really fighting for each and every loose ball on each and every possession now. Holon up by 16 points with just under 8 minutes to play. Third personal on Terrell Holloway. 3rd foul of the quarter on Holon. Juventus yet to foul. They need to go on a run sooner rather than later. Bichkauskis. Back to Szychnius. Back out to Bichkauskis for 3. Short from a couple of feet back beyond the arc, and then there is their first foul. That's on Dovis Bichkauskis, the 24-year-old Lithuanian. And that's his 4th as well. Juventus have really struggled in terms of their offense here in the second half. After 45 points at half-time, they've had 18 since. That pass off the mark in traffic from Klein Jr., and then a foul on Coleman. So 4 on Holon. We've only played 2.5 minutes of the 4th. Juventus will perhaps look to the foul line as one potential route back into the game. 7.5 minutes to play. Bichkauskis. Butalavichus. Hands it high towards Dendy, and an offensive foul against Laurent Dendy, whose horrible night continues. Just 2 of 6 from the field for 4 points. And he turns it over as he picks up another foul. Plenty of changes. Out goes Guy Panini. Gets a standing ovation from the Holon fans. The Israelis looking to go to 3-7 and keep themselves in with a slim chance of making the playoffs. Coleman. Well, no defense played whatsoever on the 3, and Holloway makes them play. Bichkauskis. Butalavichus, and then a foul on Shlomi Arush, so they're over the limit, or at the limit already. Juventus will shoot free throws. Nobody closing down Holloway here whatsoever. lead is up to 19 points with under 7 minutes to play. It has grown and grown and grown throughout these 13 and a bit minutes of the second half. Joe Alexander, the main protagonist so far, 19 points, 8 rebounds. He shot 8 of 14 from the field. He turned from steady score in the first half to human highlight reel in the second. Holloway getting away from 3 or 4 red jerseys, and look at that, the technical called straight away on Bichkauskis, who's fuming. So much frustration brewing in the Juventus Utena ranks. They know that their season, in terms of the chance of making it to the Basketball Champions League playoffs, is coming to an end. Bichkauskis fouled out on the technical. Just look at his reaction here. You can't react like that towards the referees. So he will play no further part. Bichkauskis fouled out on 4 assists and 3 points, only 1 of 5 from the field. 5 rebounds as well. At the line to shoot the technical is Terrell Holloway. 5 points so far, make it 6. 3 assists and a couple of steals as well. Some way below his season average of 14.3. Although he's done everything that's been required of him, really, so far. So many players have stepped up on the offensive end for Holon. Here's another one of them. The trademark burst to the basket from Glenn Rice Jr. We'll see him go to the foul line. Chance to take the lead to 20. As fast as he burst to the basket is as fast as Holon have burst away in this second half. Juventus beat them by just a couple of points in the reverse fixture back on game day 3. Holon is certainly going to win the head-to-head if it comes to that, although there's plenty that has to fall in favour of the Israelis over the remaining 4 game days if they are to be in with a shout at the playoffs. They started the game day 3 wins behind 4th place Murcia. Murcia, who play tomorrow. And a tricky game, I think they're at Sassari, so they could close the gap to 2 wins with 4 games to play. Holloway finding Rice Jr., but an offensive foul, they turned it over. "17 turnovers now for Juventus with still 6 minutes to play. That has really been their downfall, as well as their loss of shooting accuracy in this second half. That one goes for Anthony Ireland, though. 17 points the difference. They just don't protect the ball well enough as a team. Terrell Holloway from way outside, offensive rebound and a foul as Thomas grabbed it. All of those turnovers have allowed Holon to take 11 extra shots in the game. 61 shots the home team have taken, just 50 the away team. And they've shot at a better accuracy than their visitors as well. Thomas up to 12 points, the lead back up to 19. 5.5 minutes to play. Butalavichus. Anthony Ireland, who hit a 3 on the last possession for Utena. Dendy, who has struggled all night. Almost a turnover there. Butalavichus able to grab it. Shot clock down to 5. Dendy had it prodded away. It's still going to be Utena ball. Only 3 on the shot clock though. Laurent Dendy has found no joy whatsoever here in Holon, Israel. Butalavi just back out. 3-point shot. Good for the 20-year-old Jonas Zakas, who's coming into play in the Basketball Champions League for just the 4th time. They're still over 50% from the outside, Juventus, but they trail by 16. Black will try and answer back with 3. Off the mark. Rebound gathered though, and Glenn Rice Jr. rocks the rim. 16 points, 9 assists for him now. Zakas will shoot a 3 again. Back-to-back 3s for the youngster. He's averaged just 2.5 minutes a game across 3 games before tonight this season. 15 points the gap. Backdoor cut down the baseline, flipped up and in by Harosh. Holon up by 17. And Utena, even when they start scoring, can't find a way to stop Holon on the defensive end. Here they come again, the Israelis. Harosh back to Blatt. Flipped up first time. Will it bounce? No. And then trapped on the baseline. Ireland able to find their way out via the foul. Well, there's been some standout performances from the home team, but they have all contributed in some way or another. Look at that cut from Harosh. And the bounce pass played with perfect accuracy. Harosh, who was only 2 of 8 from the field from that narrow defeat in the reverse fixture, has been able to contribute by hitting both of his shots here in this one. Out goes Glenn Rice Jr., just 1 assist shy of the double-double. Will he return? Alexander back in the game. Still a chance of a double-double for him. 19 points, 8 rebounds. To Sean Thomas. Gets it back from Coleman. Thomas, little jab step. Long range 2, falls short. Ireland grabs the rebound. Ireland hesitation on the left-hand dribble drive. Back out. Zakas across to the far side, and it goes to Kupchas. And Thomas took a whack to the face from Mindogas Kupchas, who was taking no prisoners as he put it in. Time running out for Utena though, only 3 minutes to play, down by 15. They just haven't been able to come up with defensive stops, despite an improvement on offense. And flipped up off the glass by Tayshawn Thomas, who's able to hang mid-air. Seven points away from the century now, Holon. Anthony Ireland. Long range 2 for him, off the front rim. Kupchas on the offensive glass, able to get contact. Talk about the turnovers at the start of the game as the potential key. The rebounding as well. Have a look at this highlight reel play once more. Not quite as spectacular as a few that have preceded it, but Thomas with a great adjustment. Holon dead last in rebounding against Juventus, who lead the league in offensive rebounds, but the rebounding numbers pretty much dead even. So give Holon great credit in closing that potential gap based on their averages here this evening. Coleman getting away, burst through a gap to finish, and the points continue to pour. Butalavichus Kupchas. 3-point shot knocked down by Simas Butalavichus. 2 minutes to get the 5 points Holon need to hit the century mark. Black directing traffic, prodding and probing from the perimeter, then firing himself and nailing it. They're within 2 of the century. (98-81). 100 seconds to play. Butilavicius again. Kupchas back to Butilavicius for 3. He got it as he got hit on the three-point attempt. Falling to the floor. Juventus have continued to perform well on offense. It's that third quarter that's really let them down, but their defense has been non-existent at times. Holon looking to hit the century mark for the first time in the Basketball Champions League here. As they look to keep their season alive with a win. They're looking to end Juventus' season in the process. Blatt hanging it high towards Thomas. Back out, three-point shot. It's death by over 100 cuts to Juventus' season. Harush from the outside takes Holon to 101. Their best offensive performance of the campaign to keep their campaign alive. Thomas back out to Harush. The play was intended for Thomas to shoot inside, but he had great awareness and ability to find his teammate on the perimeter. (15 points the gap after the foul shots. 1 minute and change remaining. Into the game comes the 19-year-old Harel Dadon, making his Basketball Champions League debut. Final minute then. Here is Dadon. Black. Little hesitation on the dribble, and Thomas able to put it in after the nice feed. Black now with 7 assists in the game. They've moved the ball far better than their opponents. As Ireland hits a 3. Juventus within touching distance of the 90, which is a huge offensive performance for them, but they still trail by 14. Sean Thomas gets the high fives and the handshakes all round as he goes to the bench for the remainder. And into the game, almost able to hit, was Tal Zak, who's also just coming in to make his Basketball Champions League debut. Here's Ireland. Three-point shot, too long for Zakas. Grabbed underneath, though, by Kornienko, who puts it in with the contact. 8.7 seconds to play. And Juventus over the 90-point milestone. A chance to add 1 from the stripe here. .95 is Juventus' biggest tally of the whole season. They're close to that, and they've still comfortably lost this one. It shows how poor they've been defensively, or how good Holon have been at times. Three-point shot right at the end will drop for Tal Zak on his debut. The perfect end to the perfect offensive performance as red-hot Holon keep their season alive. They beat Juventus Utena in the end by 15, 106-91. Fans on their feet in Israel as their team move to 3-7 and go a win ahead of Juventus in Group A of the Basketball Champions League regular season. For Juventus, it is surely now the end of the line, and they know it. You can tell by the looks on some of the players' faces in red, and you felt like they knew it halfway through the third quarter, really. They fall to 2-8, and they fall out of playoff contention. For Hapoel UNET Holon, it is still a tough ask from this point on over the course of the final 4 games of the regular season campaign, but they have kept themselves in with a chance. They've closed the gap on 4th place Murcia to 2 wins, and they will hope that they can get a favour from elsewhere when Murcia play tomorrow against Sassari. But they've won this one by 15 points against Juventus, as we see the numbers very good on the boards to keep up with Juventus, despite huge difference in those departments coming into this game. And look at the turnovers. That is the problem that Juventus didn't solve. Holon solved their rebounding problem. Juventus didn't solve their problem of failing to take care of the basketball. 17 turnovers. 25 points in the end for Butalavicius to lead Juventus, but 19 for Joe Alexander, the standout performer in terms of scores. Thomas had 4 steals as well as 16 points, 5 rebounds, or 5 assists rather, and 4 rebounds. As we look at the leading scorers, Butalavicius 25, Szychnius had 18, but Alexander 19, Thomas 16, and Glenn Rice Jr. within touching distance of the double-double, 14 points and 9 assists. This is what it means for the Group A standings. Holon up to 3-7, and you can see 2 wins behind Murcia, who play tomorrow. And Holon will really be hoping the Spaniards lose that game against Sassari, which would make it a far tighter run for 4th spot. The top 3 look pretty secure in terms of making it through to the next stage. We're 10 games into a 14-game regular season. Those top 4 go through to the last 16. Well, it's been a pleasure having your company for this one in Holon, Israel this evening. And what a performance the home team put on in terms of their offensive output. 4 players in double figures, led by the 19 points of Joe Alexander. Hapoel UNET Holon beat Juventus Utena 106-91.